the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience. Dell Match Play Picks. One and done. Preview. We got it all for you. All the groups have finally been released. Sorry about the delay on this, but of course, we were at the mercy of the PGA Tour and their weird pregame show where the guy who had to push the button barely pushed the button half the time. But hey, we got the groups, we got the odds, we got the DraftKings price, and we're good to go. I might even have some Corrales picks towards the end, and we are live. So, a few things that I want you to do. Smash the like button. That helps us with the ability to go live over and over and over, and not in the live chat because we're not looking at that for this one. Maybe towards the end, we'll see. But in the actual comment section, leave your DraftKings handle, and after you like the episode, and then tell me which of the bottom two seeds in a group has the best chance of winning. Obviously, I think it's Siwoo Kim because I'm going to be picking him to move along. Maybe win it all. We'll see. That's how you get into a draw for 20 DK bucks if you are listening to the audio podcast of this after the live. If you leave a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher, you get in a draw for 20 DK dollars. Helping me break this all down as he is, once he gets off his phone, I'll throw it to him. It's Geoff Fienberg.
We're live.
I know. Can't help yourself on the phone.
I had to bring up my own Corrales board so I'd be prepared.
It's going to be like an hour and a half from now.
Just when you brought it up, I wanted to have it loaded up because I didn't get the printout.
You getting Sungjae?
No, that's too short. But
See, I've already made my wagers on Corrales. I've already done my deep dive on Corrales. Took like 3 minutes.
Well, there's like a couple guys I know I'm going to bet.
Like who?
Neiman.
I bet Neiman too. He's 28-1.
Yeah, and even, the guy I wasted money on last week. KH
Okay,
Lee.
so I bet him too.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
he's dealing with a hip injury, though, after his bad first round. We'll see how legitimate that is. So I do have some announcements here before we get into all of the groups and all of the picks. If you are a member of FantasyNational.com or want to become one for the Match Play, a monthly membership brings you through the Masters, so that's a good deal to get in right now. Moose has actually rigged up a head-to-head simulator based on rounds from this course and head-to-head history, so that's a really interesting way to go about this. Once everything updates, there's just a bar at the very top. It's called Austin CC Match Play Simulator. Very similar to the hole-by-hole breakdown that he had for the Tiger versus Wood event, or Tiger versus Phil event back in November. So that's pretty interesting if you want to go look into that. We got some winners of the 20 DK bucks. We got Davis, 410. I was going to say 420, but it's 410. B. Shaw, 690. Gaga Dog, 210. Mick Head, Turek 25, BJT, and Fight Ford C are all the winners of 20 DK bucks. You have already been credited, as I've been told, in your account with the 20 DK bucks, and everyone from last week, they finally got their money too. So you can use that. If you want to get into the Pat Mayo Experience Listeners League, it is in the description of this video right now. Only 2,500 spots this week. Significantly less because the tournament starts on Wednesday. So we had to scale it back a little bit to ensure that it will fill. But those spots are going to be at a high premium this week. So get in for all 3 entries, get in often, and don't share the link. Got to click on the video or the podcast to make sure people know where the link is. Got to get those hits if we're going to run a no rate contest.
Why is there like an underground link sharing going on?
No one's been doing it, so I'm happy to see that. But yeah, if people do that, I'll report them to Twitter and get them kicked off Twitter. I need the. I'm not running. Put it this way: if people start sharing the link, I'm just going to shut down the contest. That's the easiest way to do it.
No, I think it's working as you want it to.
I think so. It's my favorite contest to play, and I'm not super successful at it, but I was pretty successful last week. I almost had what would have been like the biggest win in 2 years if Jason Kokrak would have won. Because I had the 2 first-round leaders, I had the Kokrak each way, I had the Im each way. All I needed was the Kokrak win. The problem was I didn't even get a good spot to hedge. I had the live app open in front of me, and when Kokrak was taking his drop on 18 to get himself into a much better position, it instantly popped up as even money between him and Casey, and then it immediately went away before I got a chance to bet it. So I got stuck with a big loser on my hands with Jason Kokrak. I cannot believe he didn't get it up and down. It blows my mind.
Yeah, second straight year. Reed couldn't get up and down on the green essentially last year. That was a tough one. Love these tournaments, all these Florida events, though. You get that winning score of 8. It just breeds naturally, it just breeds a great Sunday.
Wasn't just a good week for me, though. There was a lot of victors out there, either viewers of the show or members of FantasyNational.com. So here's some winners for you. Daniel Wright won $1,600 on DraftKings, $50 buy-in. Fantasy National member John Cebulski won $1,064 on $20. Sean, unfortunately, went from $10,000 down to $1,000 in the $5 because Nick Taylor just absolutely butchered the snake pit. If he had just maintained, he would have won a big payday, $1,000. Still pretty good. Murphy DFS was in for $372, walked out with $2,208. Dapper Spaniel took first, fifth, and eighth in the 3K20 max, so congratulations to him. Bill McCann in for $41, out for $1,800. C. Duzzy was in for $82, walked away with $1,172, and his first place entry, he turned a 60-cent entry into $800 by outlasting 13,000 other people. That's an impressive day. Now we got some big ones here. Founding member of Fantasy National. When the site first started 2 Septembers ago, everyone got in with their founding member price. T. Fred in for $893, won $2,646. It's impressive. He won the $44 club twirl. He only came third in the Pat Mayo Experience Open, though.
Shame.
I know. It's funny. The same lineup won the 44, but couldn't win the PME Open. It's a tough contest to break through it.
That's awesome.
And the other big winner, so that's a $100,000 winner right there. But guess what? We're not done with the $100,000 winners. Andrew Chanette, in for $33 total dollars, won just over $100,000. Took home the $5.
It's incredible.
Doesn't it just need everything to break right your way? I would have been much better if Keegan Bradley hadn't missed the cut. I played 21 lineups, and I would have had 9 6 of 6s going into the weekend if Keegan had made the cut. Instead, I ended up with 1 out of 21 because it was terrible news. Poor Keegan. Woodlands was worse.
This was my worst DraftKings week probably of the year. It's not only it was over fast for me.
You had Reed?
Woodland and just everything I did was wrong on DraftKings. Then we had Casey last week for the outright. Obviously, he's, wins again this week.
Yeah, I wasn't
Annoying.
I wasn't going to bet. I mean, I didn't have nearly enough Casey on DraftKings. That was a problem. But I wasn't going to bet him at 22-1.
Yeah, no, I never really. Had him last week at the Players was 50-1. I think I said it was my favorite bet of the week, and it went horrible. But yeah, to your point, I feel I didn't bet anyone under 30-1. The only guys that actually seriously I looked at were Woodland and a little bit of Sergio. So.
Not the end of the world.
No, I don't know. Good for you, Paul Casey. And he got the sweetheart draw.
For this, yes, he did. I want to give a special shout out to Seb Straka, who couldn't make a birdie after Thursday, but he made them all on Thursday, made all those clutch 11-foot par putts to get himself in at -5 to tie with Joel Damon, which is fantastic. Joel Damon, one of my picks for Corrales. Somehow he's 40-1. He seems like he's better than that in that field, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's better than Neiman right now.
Who else is 40-1?
Who else is 40-1 at Corrales? It's Lipsky's playing after playing in Malaysia last week and gagging it down the stretch. Paul Dunn is 40-1. Fabian Gomez is 40-1.
Okay, yeah, so
Sabatini's 40-1.
This guy just played the Honda, just played Sawgrass,
and played Valspar and played pretty well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He can compete in this field. Big hitter, good ball striker. That's what you want at Corrales. We'll talk about Corrales at the end. I probably shouldn't have.
Actually, there's someone I actually like there. I didn't mention earlier, but
the cut line couldn't hold for us at. We were looking at projections and what was the cut line going to get to. I was traveling on Friday, so I was just watching the end of it. It looked for sure like it was going to get to +2, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. Ended up +1. Everyone lost. Well, Keegan ended up going to +3, which was just ridiculous. So at least he got to that, and I wasn't too bummed that it didn't get to +2. But Woodland missed a 13-inch putt twice. That's how he missed the cut. Bad news for him. Ready to talk about this?
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I feel like it's the quickest we've ever gotten to it. Group 1 of the Dell Match Play. We have the number 1 overall seed, Dustin Johnson, coming off a gag fest on Sunday at Valspar, paired up with the top 2 seed, Hideki Matsuyama. Brendan Grace is in here. Shez Reavie is in here. Dustin's the favorite at 10-1. His match play record, 18-14-1. Hideki's 40, 9-8-1. Grace is 11-11-3 in his match play career. He is 125-1. Shez Reavie 175-1. He's 1-1-1. The only thing I'll say about this, and I don't really want to talk about too much of the course because it's not trying to. Predicting a 4-round event is tough enough. Playing guys in individual matchups is probably even more difficult to try to really figure out. But I think I'm just going to go with guys who are good off the tee and Pete Dye specialists. I think when you look back the last 2 years since it's been an Austin Country Club, that's what you're really looking at. Like you had Dustin and Rahm in the finals 1 year. Last year at Bubba, like those three guys are like the three best guys in strokes gained off the tee there is. But then you have like Kisner and Noren. Like Si Woo has done well here. Kuchar has done well here. Like your typical Pete Dye guys that you would expect to play well at Pete Dye courses, they just kind of show up and make some noise. So do you see Dustin Johnson not coming out of this group?
For the purposes of entertainment, I'm going to pick Hideki Matsuyama. At 40 to 1, I'd even consider betting him. It's one of the reasons, though. I don't think there's ever a point to betting pre-bracket. Because this morning I was looking at Hideki at 40 to 1, thinking, like, how bad of a draw could he get? 40 to 1 seems pretty good. Well, he got a pretty bad draw getting in there with Dustin. But Hideki just pulls you back in every time you think you're done, like his Sunday at the Players.
Would you put anything worry you about Dustin Sunday at Valspar? Or is that just, whatever?
Well, wouldn't you say the same about Sunday at the Players? Or just it's a lack of...
Well, it wasn't... I mean, Dustin, the difference between the two is Dustin, he missed a short putt or two. Although there was something about the putt he made on 17 from like the fringe to save par that I was just like, looks like Dustin may have got it going again, but it was a short game that really let him down. It wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't like missed 4 footers.
Do you know
it was the guy was like driving it to the green and couldn't chip it within 4 feet of the hole.
Dustin's biggest problem also, I'd say, even going back to Sawgrass, is he'd be on these par 5s and he'd be to like the intermediate fringe 68 feet to the cup, and everyone else is able to like lag those or chip them to like 3-4 feet, and he's making them to like 8-9, and he's missing them. And then the few he's getting to 4 or 5, he's missing.
He's won this event.
He loves WGCs. He's playing fantastic when you really consider what's cost him the last couple weeks, and he's still there. But I don't know. Maybe there's a bit of a bugaboo. So give me Hideki. But to the point, because people are like, who you like? Anyone you like pre-bracket? Like, you look at... I don't think anyone's odds have changed because this bracket, I don't think really gave you much, unless you want to go run and bet Paul Casey again. But I don't think he's a guy that people are excited to bet in the first place. So I can't imagine he's taking much action regardless post his potential easy 4-pack, you could say. But the odds makers don't give a crap. They don't give a shit, Pat. Like the guy you might have liked beforehand, blindly, you think, maybe he has like a 29% chance to win his pod. And then you think he gets a lucky bracket or a good bracket perceived in your opinion. I mean, what's the real math say? His odds gone up to like 29.8%. So I don't think the books care to adjust anything. They know how hard this sucker's going to be to win.
Yeah, like I was looking at List. List is 80 to 1 just because I bet List every single week. And he's in the group with Rory. He was 80 to 1 coming into the week. He's still currently 80 to 1. Maybe that changes tomorrow.
That
I don't know.
probably could change.
It
maybe
could.
I'm just saying the deeper odd guys have a better chance of changing because they can really get screwed or maybe have an advantageous road. I'll tell you what's not going to happen. Luke List ain't going to 70, 75 to 1 because he drew Rory.
This is true.
I've actually seen that higher, so you could talk to me. I think I saw 125 in some shops on Luke List.
Listen, Luke List was in a very impressive 0-3 at this event last year and broke his putter and had to chip out with his wedge, which frankly, didn't really change anything.
I'm disrespected at his number 64 ranking.
Well, it's based on world golf points. So I think he actually got in because there's someone all of the top 64 aren't playing, are they? Who's not playing?
This feels like Ricky.
Oh, yeah, why isn't Ricky playing?
I don't think he ever does this sucker.
This feels like a really good course for him, though.
Someone else is in here.
So List is probably like 66th in the world. So he got in last year by people not playing. So he's in again this year by people not playing. Maybe not the best event, although he does, based on the skill set that I talked about, he's not only great off the tee, he is a Pete Dye specialist. So maybe someone to look at. But back to this first group for a second. So Dustin, Hideki, Grace, and Reavie. I'm going to cross off Reavie. Not to say that he can't win, but I'm not taking him. Grace is very interesting. Just he's won at a Dye course before. He has that good up and down game. If it plays a bit tougher, if there's a bit of wind, he becomes a real X factor in this group. You look like you have something to say.
The majority of guys that have done well here, not just at Austin Country Club, but if you go back historically, they're. I mean, the winners have been names, and we could talk about that. The elite players.
It's been here the last 2 years. The winners have been Bubba Watson and Dustin Johnson.
But
that seems to fit a very specific type of player. But the rest of the guys, outside of Rom, who DJ played in the finals 2 years ago, are kind of like your shorter hitting ball striking guys.
And was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago where Rafa kind of exploded up?
Rafa exploded. He was against like Bill Haas and like Tanihara.
But was that at this course?
I think so.
So yeah, so last year was Rafa, who wasn't like and 2 years ago was Rafa. Last year was Norin. A few years ago was Victor Duby. So there's Dubuisson. I don't want to argue with you.
Dubuisson. That was at Dove Mountain though.
But I'm just saying, historically in the match play, like there's always a euro charging sort of from surprise. And yes, you want to focus on the last 2 years here, but I'm just talking about the winners of the WGC match play in general. All seem to be elite players. The guys that seem to go in the finals every year, for the most part, outside of Kisner, have all like played on Ryder Cup teams on either side. Usually, it's a big thing here. So I actually put a lot of stock into that. And for Grace, I'll give you the check mark because he's played a lot of big President's Cup matches, for what you can call them.
I think he was like the only guy who was any good at the President's Cup last time, wasn't he? Or was that 2 President's Cups ago?
Well, last time they were really bad.
Yeah, when they almost won, he was like 5-0.
Yeah, it was at him and Louis. We're like the undefeated team.
So I'm going to take DJ to come out. It's really hard to pick against DJ here. Just he's playing so well. And usually when DJ starts riding form, especially courses where he plays well at anyway, like that's about as poorly as he's going to play with Sunday at Valspar. I'm stunned he didn't win. And I was sitting there with the Jason Kokrak and Sungjae. I just wish Sungjae would have made a couple like inside 7-foot putts. That would have been nice. Would have been fantastic. He's now the favorite at Corrales. I did, before we go into Group 2, I want to talk a little bit about betting this and DK's strategy. Betting it, is there, let's say all the favorites win, all the 1 seeds advance to the round of 16. How dramatically worse are their odds going to be, do you think? Like if Rory is 10-1 and Dustin's 10-1 right now, are they going to be like 5-1?
It could be weird because if Rory's got to play Tiger, that'd be interesting. Dustin would
I guess my question to you is there any, if you wanted to back a favorite?
Oh, I think the odds will tumble.
Would you rather back Dustin at 10-1 now, or wait until he gets out of his group and back him at 5-1? I think I'd rather back him at 5-1 with fewer guys to play.
Fine, but I'm not. I don't want to back him at 10-1 either.
Sure, he's probably. I would say of all the very top guys, he's the best bet.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but there's. I just I can't pull the trigger on that. He crushed me. The year he won here 2 years ago, the entire like 16th Elite Eight, every round out of the pod, he knocked one of my guys out.
I think that's when I had Haas and Tanihara, and I think they both made the Final Four.
No, I was here. I had like Louis and Rafa and Rom.
You had Rom, but I think the 2 of those guys got knocked out in the Elite Eight.
And then Dustin beat Louis in the Final Four, I think.
Oh, did he? Yeah. No, I thought that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
So no, I know. I think that was before. I thought Louis made it to the Final Four when. I really should have looked at this more. When Day won.
Oh, you're right.
Or when Rory won, whatever that was.
No, it was the Day second one. The year Day won, like everything.
Yeah. So, DK strategy, and this is important that people need to really understand, as Paul pointed out to me, Gup and Rick were both talking about it, that people basically filled out, 30% of people in like the giant $5 last year filled out dead lineups. Because you need to look at this bracket when you fill out your team. Like if you, it's up on pgatour.com right now, and we have it printed out in front of us, but don't take all the guys from the same groups or the same part, like the same region on your DraftKings team. It makes no sense. In order to win, you're going to need to have 6 guys in the Elite 8, or at least 5 guys in the Elite 8. And if you have them playing each other before that, that makes no fucking sense. So don't do that. Look at the bracket before you go through with it.
Yeah, you got to. Because like you said, the guys that do well, they'll have everyone into the Elite 8. And because there's only 64 guys, you're bound to have so many more multiple lineups than a standard event. But you need to
you need to maximize your score. I know it sounds super simple, but people won't put in the time to look at it.
Well, you'll have the handful of people that won't even know it's match play and could have 6 guys in the same like region.
Yeah. That's actually what happened last
year. So they won't even know. They're just playing DraftKings. They're filling out lineups. Their machines are popping them out. I don't know if the model.
I have my model in front of me right here.
No, but I mean, they can't like tell you who's in what pod.
No.
So they're just like, oh, great values with their models, but they don't realize that the board sets them up as dead, as Rick and and you said, gut, we're mentioning, and it makes sense. And it won't be easy to do. DraftKings is never easy. But you got to make a lineup that says, I got to go 6 for 6. So you got to throw those darts.
And you at least need to put yourself in a position to go 6 for 6.
Yeah, that's all. That's all I'm saying. You that's all you can ask.
You don't want to kneecap yourself before it even begins with terrible picks.
And guess what? You likely won't do it, but someone will. Just like the friends you announce at the beginning of each show.
Yeah, listen.
Somebody always does it.
Listen, it happened to me.
Never me.
If it happened to me, it can happen to anyone. That's the way that I'll throw it out
This
there.
was one of those. I mean, those guys won. I said this is one we quickly. I was like, I enjoy betting. I just got steamed. You can get steamed. I got steamed.
Last week?
I didn't have Kevin Na, but I got steamed.
No, I was fine last week. Like I didn't win a bunch, didn't lose a bunch, and obviously the betting went really well. This was the spot last year when we were doing the show. I hadn't picked a winner until match play last year. That's how rough last year was. So I'm feeling like I'm free rolling for the rest of the season.
Let's go. Love match play. We got a great little history too.
You've been really good at it. I finally broke through with Bubba last year. Bubba was deep last year. And he's
40.
Pretty decent. He was 50. 50 last year. Patrick Reed is the 16 group. That group will play the winner of the DJ group. So it's Reed, Garcia, Shane Lowry, and Andrew Putnam. Reed coming in with absolutely no form whatsoever. And Sergio, he made a quad. Did he make quintuple bogey on 16? Had a 9 on 16 in the final round. But Sergio's actually the favorite in this group coming into it. Reed's just playing like ass right now. 45-1, 45-1, 140-1, 200-1. No one's really giving Lowry or Putnam much of a chance here. You like Sergio, right?
I bet it.
I like Sergio too.
Blindly, because I saw and it's weird, me especially, to blindly just look to pick on Patrick Reed. But as you point out, he's kind of like an overrated match play player. Probably, historically. It seems to be, once you really bear down on it. And yeah, Sergio at the number, Pete Dye course. Always seems to get along well at Pete Dye courses. I know he was your favorite of the favorites last week. He didn't show up. Well, a few of them did, Dustin and Casey. But so yeah, I don't know, 45-1. It'll be a tough road because he might have to get out of this and play Dustin or Hideki. But at 45-1, call me a chump here, Pat. But I'm just looking to make the Sweet 16 with any bet you make pre-tourney.
True.
And not that there's hedge opportunities, because I also think those are kind of overrated. Because yes, you can have your guys like 80-1, but if he has to play like Justin Thomas, okay, that's great. But now you're going to lay minus 220 on Justin Thomas in your matches.
I guess so. The hard part about this one is when you look at the bracket, the upper quadrant of this bracket is the DJ group, the Reed group, the Xander group, and the Rom group. Those are 4 of the better groups.
Yeah.
So it's really tough to do too much with them. Knowing that on the other, I would say DraftKings wise, if you want to pick favorites, pick this side of the bracket. Or even if you really feel good about Bubba or Rose, maybe you go to the other side of the bracket and try to take a sleeper coming out of here.
Agreed. The other side of that coin from the betting perspective, and I guess also for DraftKings, it's always part of, this. It's you could be overthinking it too. Because next thing you know, that road isn't that road.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Lowry comes out of this group, Reevy comes out of the group.
Yeah, and it's J.B. Holmes versus, J.B. Holmes is on the heater. Hold your horses. J.B. Holmes could be interesting. We'll get there, but there's a correlation. A couple of recent winners of this sucker have won Riviera. I think the year Day won, he won match play.
Did Day win here?
No, not this course.
He did win at this course, though, didn't he? He was the first year that it was here?
No, because then that would have been Dustin and Bubba if we said we've only been here twice.
Yeah, but I might have that wrong. We may have been here 3 times.
Well, if it is 3 times, then it is Day.
Well, I don't know. I was asking you.
But Day, there was that one year they went to San Francisco. And we got night golf.
They went to Harding Park and Rory won.
Because I remember watching that.
Then they came here. So yeah, Day's won here.
So I remember watching night golf as my pre-show to Pacquiao Mayweather. Paul Casey versus Jim Furyk match or something.
And it was Woodland versus McIlroy that year.
Oh, the final.
The Rory year.
Yeah. I'm just talking about, it just went late because.
So I'm going Sergio here too. I just think he's playing the best out of all of these guys. He seemed to get a pretty good draw here against a really struggling Reed right now. He was bad at the players.
Did you see the great story that Justine called David Ledbetter in to come in and coach him up?
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
No, I saw, Kip Haney, the caddy for Austin Cook.
Henley.
Kip Henley? Is that his name? Anyway, Austin Cook's caddy. He
yeah.
said he doesn't need any coach or anything like that. He just had to work through the tough times. Now he's coming out the other side.
Well, I mean, we almost talk about it every week, and I still haven't fact-checked where it's from. But the data shows his swing is a mess. But when it's on, it's on. But there's no correlation from day 1 to day 2 to day 3 to day 4.
That would make it even tougher here because you have to play more matches. So if you
Yeah, it would be tough. But he's a gamer, and he'll fight for that freaking par. We know that. So those are always scary guys. I know people will hate, I hate that term bulldog, but it's a term that comes up in match play, and Graham McDowell doesn't make these anymore, so I guess that's Kisner and Hatton.
Kyle Stanley.
And Reed, but he'll fight for you. That's what you know, but his game is sort of out of sorts. So easy decision for Sergio to win the pod, which is sort of why I'm the sucker that saw the pod and just saw 45-1. I'll click it.
Yeah, you're in on Sergio at 45-1. I can get behind that too, although I think the guy that I want is in the next group. So let's go to that group 9.
Yeah, you could be right.
Is the Xander group. And I mean, I picked two. I guess Sergio's technically the 2 seed in that group, but he is the favorite to win by probability. It's Xander, Cabrera Bello, Hatton, and Westwood. It's Xander versus the Euros. So Xander he's 2-1 in his match play, 35-1. Rafa Cabrera Bello career match play, and this is Ryder Cup, this match play, Europe, everything. 15-7-1. He's good. 66-1 coming in. Hatton is 8-5 in the match play, 125-1. And Lee Westwood, an impressive 35-33-1 in his match play career. He is 100-1. Westwood's no slouch here. That's the problem. I really like Xander. And I think that Xander sets up really well here. He's just been kind of brutal on the greens lately, but the ball striking is still there. Even at WGC Mexico, when I backed him to win there, he was good ball striking and just couldn't make anything happen. That if he gets out of here, now he could be a bit scary. And he's 35-1. Of all the favorites, he might be the one who's you said Finau's 35-1 too, right?
Yeah.
So I think that Xander's better than Finau is. I'd rather back Xander at the same price than Finau.
Has an easier...
I don't know if it's easier because he'll probably have to go through DJ at some point.
Yes.
Or potentially Rahm or Kuchar.
It's all tough.
So it's a tough road, but if you can get out of it.
I'm going with Xander here as well.
Really? I thought you would have went Rafa. And if you talk about bulldog mentality type guys, Hatton's in this group.
I do like. I'm just looking at. I might actually bet Xander to win the whole thing. So
Okay.
it's a pick that I'll make here. Wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't make it through. Hatton's an interesting case. I don't want to overrate one round, but boy, did something happen to him Friday in Tampa.
Who?
Hatton.
Oh, yeah. Really gagged it away. Was it 81?
Yeah, but he's a fighter. Rafa, it's the Brits. Hatton was on the Rafa didn't make the Ryder Cup, but
No,
Hatton did.
Hatton did.
And Westwood was an assistant captain, so there's a lot.
He's got plenty of match play experience.
Oh yeah, he's feisty, and he's still got the girl on the bag.
Is it his wife?
Yeah, his new wife.
Got to keep that money in the family. He's paying off the old wife. He needs to get the new wife some cash too.
I know for a fact he's paying off the old wife, big time, big time. They're no longer in Old Palm. Yeah, Westwood's sort of doing the Euro thing. He's not really bothering with PGA. He got late. You said Luke got the last spot. Before it was Luke, it was Lee who was a late invite.
Yeah, he was the first one in, then Luke was the second one in after people started withdrawing. So we are missing someone else besides Ricky. I just have no idea who it is.
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott is not playing. Did you just look at that?
It just hit me, baby.
Oh, there you go. That's why you're here. So we're both picking Xander. We have the world's crappiest brackets, by the way. DJ, Sergio.
I got Hideki at least up top. But I don't know. What do you want from me? There'll be picks.
All right.
And it ain't going to change in this bracket. It might for you.
It's definitely changing for me. Group 8, John Rahm, the runner-up 2 years ago, the overwhelming favorite here in the group. Matt Kuchar.
Disappointing.
Good at Pete Dye courses. He is Tim's pick to win this.
Disappointing. He's in this group here.
He's 55-1. JB Holmes 150-1. And my pick to win this group, Pete Dye course specialist. See, woo! Kim. Woo!
Again, I
Who's
don't know.
getting written
I don't
in?
know if I've said this yet, Pat, but the draw was not kind to guys I'm interested in. John Rahm, I don't know if I would have bet him.
I like Rahm
It'd been
too.
short, but he'd been here before. He's been to the finals here.
He's playing
His
well.
game suits, and yeah, he's playing great. And okay,
But people have negative thoughts about John Rahm
yes,
right now.
but he's still 18-1. So that was like, I was maybe hoping for like 20, 25, and that was maybe greedy because I want to say I could be wrong. I'm often wrong. The year he went to the finals and lost, where I had him, I don't think it was a big number because I couldn't do much with it. It was like 28-1, 25-1. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, he would have won Torrey Pines that year. And he would have just come second at WGC Mexico to Dustin.
So so it was short. It wasn't like it was, so based on that, and then here we are 2 years removed, and you can have your opinion, and there's a strong segment of people that have an anti-Roma opinion. I'm not saying you're one of them. So I don't think like 18, maybe I could find a 20 is that hard. But you mentioned this is a quadrant that if the top players get through, boy, oh boy, it probably does represent the toughest, well,
they all have to go through
yeah.
Siwoo, so that's tough.
But I love how Rahm is playing. And yes, Bubba shined at Valspar, and Dustin is just great. Rahm on Saturday got snake pitted.
And I actually
And
got
then
it.
he came back and fought his ass off on Sunday, but he went to the snake pit, Pat, on Saturday at -5. I wasn't paying attention to him. I didn't own him. As I mentioned, my DraftKings were done. But I noticed when the day was over, he was at -2. He made a double and a bogey in the snake pit Saturday. And then Sunday he fought again. And, I think he just finished at 5, right?
He finished
There's
at 5.
not much more he could do.
I actually jumped in live on him when he was standing.
Thinking maybe he could post.
Standing
some
on
things,
15,
yeah.
he was 200-1. I was like,
gonna post.
If he can get in and post at 6, he might have a shot. And 6 was pretty close. He didn't get there, though, was the problem.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen. Casey made that crappy bogey on 17, but boy, oh boy, that professional up and down on 16. Or maybe the announcers made it seem hard. But I only know it was hard because Louis literally from easier spots bogeyed 16 from almost the exact same spot as Xander, but as Casey, but an easier spot.
Louis was like sneaky bad all day Sunday and just kept saving his ass, chipping in for an eagle.
Strokes gained around the green is what saved him.
He gained 6.5 strokes around the green. He was negative for approach for the week. Just every chip he made ended up like 2 feet or in. Austin Cook also kept doing that to me too. Like, let's cut to Austin Cook, who's making a 40-foot putt. Cut to Austin Cook, who's chipping in from the bunker. It was like,
do you want to know what's funny about that? The way he was playing? Because after his Friday round, the caddy you had mentioned, Kip, he was a bit of a, blowhard, but...
How many caddies do we know? Not many. He's one of them. So his blowhardiness is working.
Absolutely. He had mentioned, because they played with Tommy at the Players, Fleetwood, the first 2 days, and he had mentioned how much Austin just learned by watching Tommy. And what was Tommy doing the first couple of days of the Players? Chipping in, doing everything.
Yeah.
So there's that. Anyway, so we're there. I got, as I mentioned, the JB Holmes, 2 of the last 3 winners, won the Genesis and then won here. You mentioned Dan Bubba.
He's never won Genesis.
Oh. So then...
Dustin won Genesis that year.
Dustin.
Maybe.
Sorry. Yeah.
I think
yeah,
so.
Yeah, he did. I knew it was 2 of the last. Sorry. So even more. We're more certain that they were here when Dustin won this tournament.
Good news for Siwoo, who finished top 5.
Yeah, so there's a corollary there somehow, but I don't know. Give me John Rahm. I don't think he's losing his pod.
He'll lose to Siwoo. Siwoo's too sneaky at Pete Dye courses. I just really wish Kuchar wasn't in this group.
Last year?
Kuchar is such a wild card.
He really is, and he's Ander-cursed.
That's true. So I don't know how that works. Maybe it works at WGCs. Tim's been very good at WGCs.
I actually wanted to... Kuchar's the guy I was really looking at, but not in this bracket. My favorite match here ever, you'd think I'd remember more of the details, and that's maybe a bit of hyperbole. Was it a Siwoo Bill Haas match?
It was Tanihara.
Oh, it was crazy!
Well, maybe it was. No, maybe it was Siwoo because I think Tanihara went deep that year. Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
There was insane things happening. The highlight reel as they finished, like the insane chips and putts that were going down. So you're picking Siwoo, and you bet Siwoo.
Yes, I bet Siwoo.
What's the number? 150.
125.
Yeah. And I'll say, I mean, against it from a DraftKings perspective, it's all about going 6 for 6. But if you did bet John Rahm, I don't think you're not allowed to bet like 100, 125 to 1 other golfer in the pod. I don't think that's crazy. You could say it's me just going into a money pit. I think it's different than DraftKings. You're throwing that dart anyway.
Oh, no, it's completely different than DraftKings in terms of the strategy. Yeah, I don't have a problem with betting 2 guys from one pod, but I don't know if this is the pod to do it from. Just because if you win, you then run into DJ, Sergio, Hideki, Xander, like one of those guys.
I was sort of making the overall
It's better
point.
You'd be better off doing it from the other side of the bracket, I think.
Yeah, if you're looking down at the bracket, that top right is go pick.
Well, everyone's going to pick Bubba from up there, so.
Well, he's got a bye versus Spieth.
And Kevin Na might withdraw. So that's another thing too. Paul wanted me to point this out. So good on him.
Bonus points, right?
Like, if you end up against a guy who WDs, like you get all the points in the world. So if you just want to pick guys who are in like day, picking against non, picking against Louis might not be the craziest thing in the world. And just hope that they lose their first match and they're like, well, I'm done. I'm going to go home.
All right, let's move on.
Group 5, the Justin Thomas group by my fantasy national statistical model. Last year's semifinalist, Justin Thomas, actually rates out the best of anyone over the past 24 rounds. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are JT, Hideki, Rory Kuchar, and Dustin Johnson. So JT is 16 to 1. Keegan Bradley is 75 to 1. Matt Wallace is 75 to 1. In the beer garden, Lucas Bjerregaard is 140 to 1. I kind of like Bjerregaard here. Only because he runs so hot and so cold. It's almost like Thorbjorn Olesen in that sense. That remember at the Sunday at the Ryder Cup when Olesen went out and just laid the smackdown? Because all he kept doing was just making birdie after birdie after birdie. Like, he runs hot. I also really liked how Bjerregaard hit the most greens in regulation of any player at the Honda Classic. I think that, I don't know if it's necessarily like a direct corollary, but you're on Bermuda. It's a course where not just bombers dominate. Bombing the ball always helps, almost no matter where you go. But he was able to keep it in the fairway, get it on the green, and he just started making putts. And you know how hot he gets. I don't know if he can do it throughout the course of the entire tournament, but I might take him here over Justin Thomas.
I'm not picking Justin Thomas. I'm deciding between the beer garden and Matt Wallace.
So no Keegan for you. The site of Keegan's greatest moment in history?
No,
one rung above the PGA champion. I'm just talking about match play.
Oh, okay.
But you almost tried. No, it was here. So you tried to fight Miguel Angel Jimenez.
I don't know if it was this course though.
I think it was year 1 of this course because it was in the pod format. I remember that. It wasn't the head-to-head-to-head. Although now I can't remember how long they've been doing pods for.
But you want to know something?
Sure. Enlighten me.
We were together for that. And the first year at this course, I don't think we were together.
No, it would have been Cam and I.
And I remember that was just like you remember some great shot or something. Like, I remember watching that with you. Like, we were going nuts. Because you never see that watching golf.
Keegan was so mad.
Yeah.
I thought Keegan was going to hit him with his putter.
Keegan was like all about pulling power moves in that whole incident. From the don't tell my guy to shut up getting in his face to even after when they did the handshake and they had trying to have a calming moment to talk it over. Pepsi came in and Keegan stiff armed him away. And then Keegan is standing full, extended tall with his arms like this, looking down at Jimenez. Everything Keegan did there was attempting power moves. And Miguel Jimenez is that guy, he's not intimidated by anything. He's just doesn't give a shit. Right? So yeah, great.
Well,
Euros always storm this sucker. It's going to be one of those two.
Wallace or Bjerregaard?
Yeah.
I mean, I worry about, Thomas hasn't played well the past, 3 starts, yet he continuously just makes the cut and has the one bad round and feels like he's real close. And
what's the number?
He's 16 to 1. He has a losing match play record overall. Check out Keegan Bradley's match play record, 1-10-2.
See, that's weird, because didn't him and Phil have a lifetime of wins?
I don't know. They probably played together 3 times or something like that. And I don't think that. I think this is singles match play. This isn't just what you did. And also, I see people talking about this. He was 5-0 at the Ryder Cup, as it pertains to Molinari. Yeah, he was 1-0 in singles.
Yeah, fair.
He was playing with Tommy. He doesn't get to play with Tommy Fleetwood this time, and Fleetwood doesn't get to play with him. It's what you do as a solo competitor here. So,
and you know what? Fleetwood got smoked in singles. To who?
I don't know. Who was it?
Finau.
Was it Finau? That was one of the few American wins.
Finau, I mean, we'll get there. I think he had a 3-1 Ryder Cup.
I'm taking Beauregard. This guy's just going to go and light it up. He might lose 7 down one day, but he could win 7 up.
Give me Matt Wallace. I don't know. Feels like the suckers play because it's like he's the guy, the flavor. And the European barnstormer here is never really like a flavor. Just that's why they storm it.
Okay.
But give me Wallace. I don't know. There's 2 elite players I might have perpetually just underrate or don't respect enough. One of them being maybe Justin Thomas.
So the next group plays the winner of the Beer Garden going to win group. It's Jason Day, Phil Mickelson, Henrik Stenson, and Jim Furyk. Day is 22-1, 24-11 lifetime, 2-time match play winner. Phil is 33-24-4, 66-1 coming in. Stenson 27-18-5 in match play, 60-1. Furyk 28-25-2, 90-1, and comes in absolutely hot fire. Even rebounded a little bit late on Sunday to pull himself not back into the tournament, but just another quality finish. If he finishes highly here, he might actually get into the Masters. He may have earned that. You know, the Masters will just like they gave Sharma the invite 2 years ago after he played well in Mexico. Like they'll just hand out a special exemption invite. They might give that to Furyk this year, I think. Just he's been playing so well, coming back from injury.
Didn't they give one to Els a couple? Oh no, they gave him like he can show up and be on the grounds, but he can't play. Someone got one a couple years ago.
I don't really remember. I remember he played himself in like 3-4 years ago. Anyway, this is the group of death, isn't it? There's one other.
To me, it's the other one. Because the other guys scare me more than these names.
I wanted to back all 4 of these guys before the group came out.
I wanted to back. Okay, there were 2. I don't want to. Okay, there were very small, maybe 2 guys under 30-1 that I was considering.
Day was one of them for me.
Day was one of them. It just seems like it's all coming there. He loves this format. You want to talk about that guy that'll just fight and drain every par putt for 4 days? It's Jason freaking Day. I think the format suits him perfectly. I think the course suits him perfectly.
He's also prone to WD too, so you got to watch out for that.
He's not going to WD this week. And Rahm was the other, to be honest. I was hoping. So yeah, I guess I got to pick Jason Day. I don't think this group doesn't scare me like the other group. If as a guy, I would rather Jason Day be in this group than be in that other group.
Do you know who finished significantly ahead of every single player in the Valspar field in strokes gained approach last week? But couldn't make a putt all 4 rounds?
Jim Furyk?
Henrik Stenson. Stenson played sneakily really well at Valspar. Good history on Pete Dye courses, and he's going to be like Steady Eddie out there.
Here's the problem, in my opinion.
And he's not my pick to win this bracket.
My thing against Stenson, and I could see it like the traj. The traj? How would they say that? Trajectory?
You just say it like that.
Okay, I know the kids probably have a better word.
I don't think that they're really getting into that.
Okay.
I don't think that that's where they're at.
I could see it's trending right for Stenson, but I don't think there's 5 days, 2 of which include double days, of good golf there. Like, I just feel like I agree with what you're saying, but I think there's still a couple moments where it abandons him. And in this group, I don't know how you can survive it.
I'm picking Phil to win this group.
Oh, give me Jason Day.
There is a significant left-handers advantage at this course.
Yeah, you know what?
That was the reason that I was on Bubba last year. I picked Phil to make through his group last year. He got through. Brian Harmon has made runs at this tournament. Like there's something. It's like Riviera, like Augusta. Austin CC is just a course where left-handers just have an advantage.
See, you're talking about shot shapes. I'm talking about I feel like the lefties here have a bigger advantage of avoiding the rock walls. Because they have these rock walls up the left sides of fairways, and the lefties, that's where Daniel Berger hurt his wrist at the WD a couple years ago.
Is that where it was?
Yeah.
I forgot it was here.
And you see these, even like local courses will have these, but they're like have boundary rock walls. And if you're a lefty, you like I can maybe sometimes make a swing. If you're a righty, you try to hurt your wrist like Berger did. That's all. How much do you think Phil bets on like actual tour golf?
He doesn't.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I think he makes most of his bets in like the practice rounds with the other guys. That he's
No, but
playing
I'm
against.
talking about you don't think
Like,
like,
I don't think like he's sitting out the week and sweating Jason Kokrak like us.
No, I don't mean it like that. But you don't think he's in the clubhouse? He actually knows about an injury and like makes a bet on
No,
that guy?
I don't think he does.
Because
I mean, I hope he does, but no.
I think he does.
There's absolutely no upside for Phil, considering his entire living is doing this. And if he did do that and got caught, he would be out of golf. I just don't see where.
I think
when you can inside trade on the stock market, why wouldn't you just do that instead?
Well, this is inside trading. I think he gets a rush out of it. So I think he might. And I only ask this
Feels like a
because-
real degenerate in your mind, isn't he?
Well, no, he's an everyman, and I'm not going to use my next point to claim him any degenerate because it's probably what a lot of people were doing Thursday or Friday. But he posted his like calf video, and it seemed like he was in his like country club lounge because that would be a shitty setup if that's your actual home.
Like I'm sure he went somewhere and bet on every game of the tournament.
So he had every game up you could see in the video, and then he had like the golf on, and I'm just wondering if he like plays like. I don't know, has like a caddy he's friends with and sends him some tips from events he's not in.
Maybe. I don't know. I would doubt it. I see zero upside to it. Like, why would you?
We're talking about it.
There's plenty of stuff to gamble on.
He's a degenerate, though. It's not about like the upside. It's just part of it.
It's not, though, because he's also not an idiot.
Okay.
Next group, Tiger Group. Group 13, Tiger, Cantlay, Snedeker, Aaron Wise. Aaron Wise is sneaky here because he's so good off the tee that he has the perfect shot shape for this tournament. Quail Hollow is another one that you can look at as well. Another course where Jason Day has played well over the years. He's done okay at Riviera. Tim has called Patrick Cantlay free money to win this group.
I'm going to join him, but I'm not calling it free money. Give me Patrick Cantlay.
Really? Patrick Cantlay?
Yeah.
50-1. Why Cantlay? Why over Tiger? Tiger's the best match play player ever.
Okay, you want to know something?
50, 17, and 2.
Do you want to know something? I'm making my picks. They're probably wrong, but every pick I make, even like the Hideki one out to beat DJ in the first group that we discuss, is thinking like, who would I bet on? And if I'm making a bet here, it's Cantlay. Now, Tiger 28-1. Very attractive, Pat. But will you trust Tiger to go double barrel Saturday, Sunday, a Sweet 16 and Elite 8 Saturday, followed by a Final 4 and a final on Sunday? I don't think so. I don't think he did doubles at the Ryder. I don't know.
And he gassed at Riviera,
So
too,
it's
when
like,
they had the
I'm
wraparound.
just talking about winning this thing. So yes, Tiger Woods might win the pod.
Okay, well,
but I don't think he can win the whole thing.
Okay,
and if he does,
is there a
that'd be great.
chance that when they play the double round, will Patrick Cantlay finish his second round? Or will they have to, like, if Patrick Cantlay makes it to the finals, will this be done in like 3 weeks?
Okay, so you get the triple bonus points because the other guy walked off the course on the 11th hole because he couldn't stand playing with Patrick Cantlay anymore. So they withdraw, not the other way
I think
around.
tournament organizers are going to be like throwing like mud over his ball when he's not looking, just like good Lord, get this. We have to make sure that Cantlay doesn't make it through because we cannot have him on TV. So everyone goes and kills themselves.
Oh, you mean the horrible TV event that is like Sunday of this event?
This is the worst.
Would be worse if Patrick Cantlay's playing.
Could you imagine?
Well, give me Cantlay.
Oh man, it would be so devastating.
Okay.
It would be like it's barely watchable as it is on Sunday, and even Saturday for that matter. Like, it's so slow. It's just horrible. And then you would get Patrick Cantlay thrown in there, who's the most unwatchable player. What if it turned out to be like you had a semifinal match, but it was like Keegan and Cantlay, something like that?
Go Cantlay.
The other guys would never finish.
I just want you to know that's the reason why I'm just not a part of Tiger. Is from the outright perspective, I don't know if he can do that.
Okay. I mean, you can pick, as it pertains to the bracket, you could pick a guy to go through and have Tiger losing in the next round because Rory be coming the other side.
Oh yeah. That may. Yeah, shucks. I don't even. Well, that makes it harder to bet Cantlay, but that Cantlay List matchup will be good.
Well, I mean, List beats him, 9-up? List puts a Stephen Ames type beating on him. No, I think Wise and Snedeker are both live in this group. The one thing about Cantlay is the guy can't putt to save his life. And Tiger's been bad on the greens so far this year. Like, maybe this is just one of these groups where Snedeker wins because you talk about these like grinder type guys and you always associate it with like a Euro. Snedeker's that guy.
Snedeker's not the guy unless he had an ugly weekend, but that course got a lot of guys. Yeah, Snedeker's just going to put in the green and he'll make a couple 20-footers and you'll be He'll just play it smart and safe. And he might not shoot like 600 to win the match, but he ain't going to shoot like the 2 over to give you a hole or a match.
Well, the Cantley-Snedeker matchup has to be the weirdest.
Oh,
Snedeker's the fastest player on tour, and
Snedeker-
Cantley's the slowest. Do you think Snedeker starts chirping like, let's hurry up here? Good thing Brooks isn't with Cantley. Brooks trying to kill him. I'm going to pick Snedeker to win the group. So that's my pick. No Tiger from us. I think we're really underrating Tiger here.
I agree. It's 28-1, but I'm picking my bracket as guys. I haven't set on who I'm going to bet to win, so I need to make my picks here, helping me decipher that. Comprende?
I mean, that doesn't make any sense because you're playing a bracket. Now you're conflating picking a bracket with betting, and that's not how it works.
Well,
bracket strategy and outright betting is completely different.
I understand that, but I'm doing this for me.
Okay. Group 4, Rory's group.
Should we just both do lists and get on with it?
So, I mean, Matthew Fitzpatrick dead in the water here. Justin Harding, probably dead. He has 5 wins in the past year. Not on the PGA Tour, or even the European Tour. So let's cross those two off. So we got Rory and List. Can List not... Do you think that Rory will be magnanimous and give Luke List like, hey, that's 5 feet away, it's a gimme? Because if that's the case, then like this could just be a new world for Luke List.
Yeah, maybe they don't even know Luke List well enough
Yeah,
to
if
know
they're
what
like,
the
oh,
problem
that's
is.
pretty close, Luke, you take that one. He's like, yeah, let's do this.
Give me Luke List.
I'm taking List too, because, I'm me. But off the tee I talked about is really essential here, and there's only a handful of guys that are as good off the tee and as long as him off the tee who also just generally play really well at Pete Dye courses, and he's one of them. So,
Again, I'm making my picks to guys that I might actually...
well, I was betting List
Bet.
either way, whether I picked him to come out of the bracket or not. I'm picking List. So that's that side of the bracket. Now let's get to the easier side. We reeled off a lot of good names here, and we're not making good time. So the Rose group. I think DraftKings-wise, Rose might be the best play. No one's going to take him. He has a career 16-16 record. He's 20-1 to win this. Like, for him, he shouldn't be 20-1 if everyone else is priced up at like 10-1. And you have Woodland, Pepperell, and Griot. Griot is like a Pete Dye guy. He's sneaky here, but obviously he can't putt either. I'm trying to theorize it from like a DraftKings perspective that if Rose gets through, it's not like picking Xander to come through and, all of a sudden
This is the quadrant we were talking about.
Yeah, he has to play like, he would then have to beat like Rom and potentially Sergio or DJ to get to the semifinals. Like, it's the top ends of these groupings are Rose, Watson, Casey, and Molinari. It's good, but it's not the murderer's row of people, you know what I mean? So I like Rose to come out of this group. Rose might be a DK guy that I just really back this week. Now, I don't have the ultimate faith in him, but I know that people aren't going to take him. And he does have the easier draw, and I know people are going to hammer Bubba.
That being said, a lot of the same reasons I perpetually maybe disrespect Justin Rose. I might actually make outright money bet on Gary Woodland.
What are Woodland's odds? What did I say they were?
He's in the 60s, 66-1.
That's not bad.
Again, it's not Justin Rose, but I think there's a door open if you can guess the guys in this quadrant.
Yeah, no, I agree. The path is there for one of these guys.
And even going lower to like where their Final Four or Elite Eight matchup could be, as in the next handful of groups that we'll discuss. This is in my opinion, the weak spot of the whole thing.
Well,
this is where I wish guys I wanted to bet on ended up.
I didn't get one of them in here.
Me neither.
Not one.
So now I'm forcing another wasted money on Gary Woodland bet probably because I need action in this pod, in this quadrant. Not even pod, expanded pod. This is where I wanted Kuchar to be. This is where I wanted Hideki to be. This is where I wanted Louis to be.
Well, not only do you get like some of the you get the 15, the 10, and the 7 in this group with Rose. All the other guys, like the bottom ends of these, are like the worst guys. So,
yeah, Pepperell just played his way in. Good for him.
Pepperell's good.
It's fine.
Like, you have the top 64 players in the world. No one's bad in this field, but compared to that other group we talked about, Day, Mickelson, Stenson, and Furyk, when we look at this next group, you have Bubba, the defending champ, Spieth, Horschel, and Knott.
Bye.
Like, that's not a great group.
Yeah, give me Horschel, blind.
Spieth's 55, Horschel's 66, Nah is 160. I'm taking Bubba here for sure.
Give me Horschel blind. My street book just posts golf odds.
Okay.
Sometimes you can catch these guys. Sometimes they'll put it in you, though.
Bubba is the only player in this group with a winning match play record. He's 20, 12, and 4, and he's coming off a good week at a course where he doesn't normally play well. You got, what's that look?
It's Gary Woodland, 40-1.
Maybe the odds have changed for us too. We haven't looked at it since the show started. Maybe there's been an update.
No.
Gary Woodland is
Should still be 60-1.
he is still 60-1. Yes. So you're taking. Who'd you say? Spieth? You're back in Spieth?
No.
I'm rating you in for Spieth.
Billy Horschel.
You're one and done too. Spieth.
Billy Horschel. I think there's, again, money opportunity. I don't know. I think Horschel and Woodland both in the 60s I might bet them both.
Really?
I don't know. Probably not. Probably not.
I mean, you've just talked about when we reeled through the winner, like the major pedigree upside of the guys that actually win this thing.
Well, that's all WGCs, but this is the WGC where I can get suckered in the most because it actually feels like there's a chance for the other guys.
I wish the odds on the groups were out yet. They aren't. So you're taking Horschel, I'm taking Bubba?
Yeah, Bubba's probably the prudent play,
Okay.
but I'll be fading it.
Casey comes in as the 10 seed. Now, this is a weird group. It's Casey, Cam Smith, who I believe he went pretty far last year, Charles Howell III, and Abraham Answer.
I remember when Charles beat Tiger at Dove Mountain, round 1. That's probably what prompted them to talk about pod changes. This event used to also be in my grandpa's backyard in San Diego. Good memories.
25-1 for Casey, 35, 24, and 4 as a match play record. Cam Smith is 3, 1 and 1. Made it to, I think, the Elite 8 here last year, 55-1. He's not playing well coming in, though. Charles Howell is just going to be steady. He's 12 and 11. That sounds like a very Charles Howell type match play record. And the Mexican Allen Iverson, Abraham Answer, 0-0 in his career in match play. He is sneakily the type of guy that I like at this tournament. He's one of those shorter hitters that's still really, really good off the tee and gains a ton of strokes. Casey is very much in that same vein, too.
No, I'm on...
Answer could be a nice upset here, though.
And Answer just came off a great week at a Pete Dye course. Missed a lot of short putts, but yeah, Answer's... I'm thinking at Answer or Howell here, because in terms of who I might bet outright, as I told you, I'm doing my own bracket, my own way. Answer, Howell would be the pick, and I don't trust Howell enough, which is weird versus Abraham Answer, but yeah, give me Answer. It's probably a big number.
Let's look at Answer here. Strokes gained approach 22nd in the field over the past 24 rounds, 12th off the tee. It's just the around the green. The birdies are better, and a lot of that has to do, I mean, those go hand in hand with putting as well, not around the green, but birdies are better. Then if you can convert a few of them, then maybe he's looking good. I'll take Answer.
What's the outrights?
I gave you a sheet. You asked me for the sheet. Now you're asking me.
Well, I was looking at the screen.
He's 125-1. That's not enough.
No.
But he's on the right side of the bracket.
He's in that quadrant.
So here's the interesting group, I think.
Oh, my God. Can someone tell me who's going to win that quadrant?
This one?
Like, who's going to the Final Four from these 4 freaking groups?
You know, if I had that answer, I probably wouldn't even tell you. I would move to Vegas and just start betting stuff. Because I'm from the future, Jeff.
There's money to be made somewhere there.
Molinari is 28-1. Webb Simpson's 55. Thor Bjorn Olesen is 160. And Satoshi Kodaira, my guy, 275-1. He did win in a Pete Dye course last year at Heritage, as we remember. Is Molinari just, we're not giving him enough love here?
I'll pick him to win this pod of garbage.
Olesen's real interesting. Only because, like Beauregard, he can just pile up birdies
But he's
so
not
quick.
playing well. I feel like he's form. You see it with him.
Okay, so we'll cross him off. We'll cross off Kodaira. Webb, bad week at Valspar, but 2 good weeks before that. Pete Dye player.
I'll take Molly, but I don't see myself outright betting Molly. But the fact I'm taking him to win this pod based on how this quadrant sets up, he's always disrespected from the odds board too a little bit.
28-1, and he has probably the easiest path to get to the finals.
It's like I have him and Xander very similar, but like you said, Xander might have to literally knock off Rahm and DJ to make the Final Four. Well, Molly could beat Answer and Woodland.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Molinari too. I did give...
Guys that have won here have also won in the year.
like always?
recently.
I might bet Justin Rose to win.
Yep.
He's won this year.
He would be great. His sponsors would love it. All 97 of them.
You're really triggered by that. What do you care?
It's annoying. Get a clean look.
Why? Who cares? What are you, a socialist? You don't like the guy making money?
No.
Like, what's
See,
wrong?
this is where you're wrong.
What's wrong with you?
This is where you're all wrong.
Listen, I'm wearing a clean white shirt right now. If anyone would like to pay me to wear stuff on my shirt, I will.
You're making it into something else. I believe he can get money just by saying my exclusive rights, not looking like a NASCAR. And
you know what else he can? You know what else he can do? He can make more money by selling more sponsorships.
No, you don't think those guys that are clean are making extra from what they're being paid for the exclusivity of it?
I would think that if you're Tiger and you're Phil, maybe. The rest of the guys, no. The more the merrier.
Obnoxious.
Keep getting paid, sir. I love it.
Dude. May as well just drive a golf cart, like with logos embezzled everywhere.
Well, I mean, he's not Casey Martin. Maybe Casey Martin could have done that back in the day.
Wears those block NASCAR glasses. He wears the hat with the Morgan Stanley, the Homa. Like a guy like Ricky Fowler could be everywhere, like could have everything. Up and down his shirts. Just a nice clean look.
Well, maybe
with the Farmers logo.
Yeah, maybe
and
win
a Mercedes logo.
You know what? Maybe win a major, maybe win the FedEx Cup, and maybe you'll get more sponsorships, Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, that's what he's lacking. Justin's really, and no, I'm not upset because Justin's like doing more commercials than Ricky. Just think he looks annoying. His face is annoying me. His voice is annoying me.
You're just seeing too much Justin Rose.
I don't like it.
I like it. I like your anti-Justin Rose spin. This is gonna get me on Justin Rose here. Wait till he wins the Masters this year.
Yeah, he's got the easiest pod here. Like quadrant, I mean.
DeChambeau.
There's too much.
DeChambeau.
Can you name 5 Justin Rose sponsors?
No, I don't care who he's sponsored by. Morgan Stanley, because I see that commercial. Listen, I could use some wealth management. I need the wealth first, but when I acquire the wealth, I would like some management for it. And thanks to Justin Rose, I know all about Morgan Stanley now. Every time people eagle, they buy books for kids. Justin Rose is all about that, and you hate them, so you hate kids. If you hate Justin Rose.
Every single one of these guys, they're so great.
Not Justin Rose, but you hate his face.
His face is bothering me.
DeChambeau's group. He is the 6th seed. Leishman, Affy Barnrat, who went pretty far here last year, and Russell Knox. DeChambeau's 25-1.
Interesting.
He didn't play in this last year. He was 0-1 from the Ryder Cup last year in singles play. Leishman, 6-8-3. He's 45. Affy Barnrat, 110-1. 14-6-2 in his match play career. Russell Knox is 110-1. He's 2-3-1. That's the Euro one too.
Yeah, it includes like the Super Sixes where you play like.
I don't know. I don't think it includes the Super Six. I think it includes.
There was something he won because I was actually on him for that. Which was
he won the Super Six?
Yeah,
but I believe he went pretty far in the Volvo match play too, and he went far in this tournament last year.
Listen, I wrote down Bryson.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bryson too.
25-1 is a number I'll think about too.
Yeah, he's fallen back.
Yes.
Quite a bit. Like, even the Masters odds have come back.
There was, shucks, who had that really... Because when Rahm was, like, doing his tear at the Players, I was really, I picked this guy to win Player of the Year. Why couldn't I, like, think of him in the first big event of the year? And his odds creeped up to, like, 25-28 for the Players. But if I was probably going to make a move in that range at the Players, it probably would have been Bryson, who almost hit 33-1, I saw in some spots at the Players. So you are right.
Has a win this year already over in the Middle East. He played well at Riviera. Ended up T20 at the Players after barely making the cut. Gained 5.3 strokes off the tee that week too. Putted the lights out. The approaches were just disastrous. But that's a really hard one to glean too much from approach numbers because you start putting in the water and you're a huge minus. Bryson's very interesting here because there's the two guys. The bottom part of this quadrant has the 3 like number 1 seeds that I'm kind of the most interested in from an odds perspective. It just makes divvying up a DraftKings team super tough. So I'm going to take Bryson to come out of here. Then we have the next group. Isn't Fleetwood geared what?
I just want, because I think Knox made the most birdies in Tampa.
He made the Albatross.
He counted as 1 birdie. I'm just saying, he was a birdie machine, except he made an insane amount of numbers.
I can look this up.
Total birdies from Knox in Tampa was T5 in the field for sure.
Would you like to wager on that? I haven't looked at it yet. You seem pretty certain about it.
Yeah, sure.
I'll bet you $20 he didn't. Let's see if I can find this now.
$10.
All right, 10. Now you're backing off.
Well, I don't need 20.
I don't have it pulled up in front of me here. Let's see.
Well, I gotta be talked into a gag bet.
Birdies gained. I have him at 17th. No, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. T7 in the field.
Did my albatross count as one birdie?
I guess if that bumps him up to T6,
So I said
that would tie him with Sam Burns. He finished behind Sung Jae and Scott Stallings made the most. Paul Casey and Austin Cook and John Rahm. Wish Sung Jae was in this field. Doesn't it feel like Sung Jae would play well here?
it's okay. We're betting that on something.
Okay. But you're taking Bryson, not Russell Knox? Birdie machine, Russell Knox?
No, I'm not taking Russell Knox. Yes, this works perfectly for Fleetwood.
So now we're on to the Fleetwood group?
Well, I
I
interrupted
have
you.
to update the time codes now. So when people watch this after the fact, they want to jump to a group, they can jump to the group. Fleetwood is in the 11 seed. He's in with Louis, Stanley, and Ben On. I am not taking Tommy Fleetwood to win this group. I have placed a wager on Ben On to win this event.
Yeah, I like it. But I'll take Louis to win the group.
You're
I
taking-
think it sets up well for Tommy, but I don't want to pull the trigger.
DraftKings wise, Ben On is 70 to 1. Or sorry, his odds are 70 to 1. He's 6,300. Stanley actually played really well at this tournament last year, too. He's sort of the type of player. But tee to green, we all know about how good Ben On is. Just, maybe he can,
I like that.
Maybe he can suffer from Luke List syndrome, and maybe they'll just give him a few three-foot gimmies, and it won't be that big of a deal. So he doesn't actually have to miss them. But he's just solid up and down. And even on Pete Dye courses, he's really, really good. In this field, he's 10th over the past 24 rounds off the tee. Like, that's something I'm looking at. And he gains on approaches and gains around the green. One of the premier around the green players on tour. And we've seen these around the green guys actually go quite a bit, too. Like, we saw Tani Hara go. We've seen Siwoo Kim go. We've seen Bill Haas end up doing really well here. Kevin Kisner do really well here. Like, they're the sort of total package tee to green. Maybe you can just roll a few in this week. It'd be nice.
It's match play. You just got to roll in like important ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The 8-footer to have the hole, the 8-footer to win the hole.
On just reminds me of one of these guys that isn't going to go out almost like you said with Snedeker.
Yeah, par will win him holes. Might not birdie, but he ain't gonna. Yeah.
And looking at the other guys here, like Fleetwood loves making eagles. You can go take your eagles and fuck off this week because it's not worth minus 2.
It's a great point. It's a great point.
But Tommy also loves bogeys.
I think the format's great for Tommy.
Louis just doesn't hit enough greens for me.
It'll really hurt me if he does win because he had a great players, and I bit the bullet on betting him at 28 to 1 at the players, which I felt was a little low, but I felt all signs were pointing. Mm-hmm. But this 22,
it's too low.
I could bet Rahm, I could bet Day, I could bet Bryce. I just can't.
You bet Bryson for deeper.
I understand. I just can't. So give me Louis, who's a bit of a match play guy.
If he's hot, he's hot. But
know?
if he plays anything like he did at Valspar,
He's in trouble.
That's not happening 2 weeks in a row.
But he's a pretty stable guy also. Make him hit his 3-footers, though.
So you think this next group is the actual group of death?
Yeah, in my opinion, it's the harder group. There's name value with Stenson and Phil, but these are the guys to me.
Finau is the 14 seed. He is matched up with Ian Poulter, Kevin Kisner, and Killick Keith Mitchell, who looks like Noop Saubot out here with no pitcher. Finau is 35 to 1, 9K.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, it's a sizing issue for him. Ian Poulter, match play specialist, 41, 17, and 5 in his match play career. He's 33 to 1. He actually has shorter odds to win than Finau does. He's 7,700. You're going to be your super chalky on DraftKings. Kisner, the runner-up here last year, Pete Dye specialist, 7,075 to 1, 8-4 and 1 in match play. I don't hate Keith Mitchell here. The guy's playing amazing. He's one of these guys off the tee he's ahead of Ben On. He's number 9 over the past 24 rounds. He's generating a bunch of opportunities. Like you pointed out, Killick's not standing over 15-footers with shaky knees anymore. He's making them.
He's a different guy. He has that confidence over the 10, 15-footers. He's the type of player you almost want in match play.
And he's on Bermuda. That goes a long way with him.
This was a group. This group shattered me. Because I, like you with that other one, I was waiting to see where Finau was going to go. Sneaky good Ryder Cup. Sneaky good putting performance at Sawgrass. The par fives crushed him in my perceptions there. Maybe the format switch is what he needs for a breakthrough.
You know what he really needs to do is go play Corrales. He definitely win there.
Yes! But so I was really into Finau, and then you see the draw, and it's like Poulter, who's, match play dynamite.
Do you think it's smart, DraftKings wise, to fade Ian Poulter? Because I think it is.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Fading Bubba and fading Poulter. Now, if they win, you're fucked. But so many people are going to take those two guys. It just
makes total sense. Kisner, Mitchell.
Kisner's like playing better too.
Yes, and it's a Pete Dye course. A Pete Dye course. He's had success on. Oh, this is the thing. To win this sucker, anyone that wins or even goes on a run here, even to the Elite Eight, Pat, because you're going to have to knock off a couple names, some highly, highly touted world-class ranked players. And I'm talking, the guys really at the top. You need a Dragon Slayer quality to you.
You got to sleep with fat chicks?
No, you're talking slump busters?
You're slaying the dragons, too.
Okay, yes. I'm just saying, this whole group to me is Dragon Slayers. I would trust them versus like elite players. I really would.
I'm going to go to Fantasy National and sort by Pete Dye courses only. How many rounds back would you like to look at? Some people have only played 10 rounds of Pete Dye courses. You want to do past 24?
Sure.
Would you rather hear about tee to green or total strokes gained?
Tee to green.
Tee to green, Rory is number 1. DJ, Siwoo Kim, Paul Casey, Jason Day, Griot, Molinari, On, Jordan Spieth, Bryson, Woodland, Noren, Westwood, Tiger Woods. That do anything for you?
Well, you didn't say anyone in this group.
No, I'm just. Oh, we were talking about Kisner being a Pete Dye guy.
Okay, so that's overrated.
A little bit, but
Okay.
it doesn't include stuff from this course because there's no strokes gained.
An inability to really do something special here. I'm just going to fall back to Big Ricky.
Going with Tony?
Yeah.
I really want to take Killer Keith here.
Do it.
I'll take Mitchell. I think he's just playing too well right now. And he fits the exact prototype of guy that I want to
This is the type of bracket, though, Pat, to me, like we're talking, it's not maybe the smartest thing to go see, if you're betting Rahm, also see Woo, because we spoke about the road. This is one that if you liked, Poulter, Kisner, you still bet Keith Mitchell. That shouldn't stop you. I don't think
What did I say his odds were? 125?
110, I think.
110?
I
might get it on that.
Keith Mitchell, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I assumed you were. You seemed quite happy to do it.
I mean, just for the bracket purposes, I like picking him to go through. I think that very few people will do that. I'll probably throw him on a DK lineup too. So the final group. And I think this one's very interesting, just only because I was trying to watch that travesty that was the Golf Channel show. And they were really underselling Brooks. They didn't like that he lost all the weight for the ESPN Body Mag.
Can I make a comment?
But Brooks should steamroll these guys. He's in the weakest group. He's in with, it's Brooks, Alex Noren, who's playing absolute trash, Hao Tong, and Tom Lewis, who he looks like a creative player with a bad haircut.
Brooks got the draw. Him and Paul Casey won the day.
Brooks, I might bet him at 25-1. He's down to 20-1 now. So he's one guy whose odds changed after seeing he was 25 before, he's 20 now. If you look on your street book, it might be different.
No, they don't adjust to anything. It takes them a day and a half.
But can you make a case? I mean, obviously any one of the other three guys can win. But are you going to be taking them?
Sergio dropped 10 points.
He's 35 now?
Yeah, and Hideki jumped 5 points.
So he's at 45. So, little bit of maneuvering going on.
Yeah, can I just update a couple more maneuvers that catch my eye?
I assume you're picking Brooks here like me?
Yes, but I want to make a comment about the body stuff. Bryson up to 30.
That might be the play.
I don't know what they're so afraid of. Their day jumps to 25.
What did Rose go to?
Rose stays at 20.
Okay.
Fleetwood small jump to 25. Poulter down to 30.
So they love Poulter in this group. So like I said, he's an insta fade. The
group is too hard.
Well, there's enough variance in golf to begin with, and then you shrink it down to a single round of match play. I know Poulter's good. I like Poulter a lot. And I do respect his match play ability, but if he's going to be like 40% owned on DraftKings, no thanks.
So it does make me feel. Listen, it means nothing. It means dog dick. But I do feel good about like just seeing that draw and knowing like I'll bet Sergio because he's down to 35 and Reed's up to 55. So they've decided, even though the seeding is
by probability, Garcia is like a 36% chance
so
to
just
win.
going back a couple weeks to this Brooks thing, this whole like Jason Day thing that got everybody in a tizzy. Brooks is out there like cutting weight like an MMA fighter for a photo shoot.
I have nothing but the utmost respect for Brooks wanting to get a six-pack for the body issue. I love it.
I don't
That's
care
exactly
about
what I'd be
that.
trying to
I
do.
got no beef. My point being is these people that want some sort of information, like an injury report, there's 130 guys. Yes, like some of them are more high profile and they're given opportunities that like Ryan Armour isn't. I don't know why I'm picking on Ryan, but my point being is you'll never know. You'll never know. You have no idea Brooks is cutting weight and literally, you know, fought for everything to make the cut at the players and said he was hitting the ball like 14 yards shorter. You just won't know. You won't know.
And you don't know how it's going to affect him because Brooks was cutting weight 3 weeks ago at the Honda and he came second. He was a putt away from being in the playoff.
My point being is, so yeah, you might have some injury information that helps you with something or hurts you or makes you triple think everything, but there's still going to be 100 more things that you have no idea about is happening. Like you have no idea. You have no idea.
Like I know I could have probably had access to the fact that Austin Cook had a kid like 3 months ago. I just didn't jump out to me. But like that has... And that's sort of the thing. Like, remember when Stenson had the kid, and then like 3 months later he admitted, "Is like, yeah, I haven't been sleeping. This is why I'm playing so poorly."
Night nurse, man.
So yeah, well, I guess he could definitely afford it. Pat Mayo could. I could afford it one night. I did it for one night, and it was glorious. We got some sleep. But that's where some of those Matt Kuchar early season winnings went into to pay for a night nurse. But if you tell me like Ricky Fowler has a wrist injury, or Henrik Stenson just had a kid and he hasn't been sleeping, like the not sleeping thing could be far more serious than the Ricky Fowler wrist injury. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Brooks is just unhappy because he hasn't been able to eat, and now he's 25-1, and I think they did the photo shoot, or he's 20-1, but maybe he's happy because he's eating. Got to have a hamburger or something. Not say he ever eats a hamburger.
The guy definitely eats you don't put on size like that if you're not eating meat.
Sure, I'm just saying, like, he's just, can you imagine how miserable, like, I don't know, maybe he doesn't even like food. Maybe it wasn't a big deal. His swing was short, but...
No, I do myself. I've been intermittent fasting for 3 months. It sucks.
Yeah, so he was probably miserable, and he made the cut.
And I'm a pretty miserable guy.
So he did get a nice draw. Brooks did get a nice draw in that bottom quadrant, and
we might get a Brooks-Bryson matchup, and they hate each other.
And let's be real. If you want to bet a guy under 30-1... It's unfortunate because as we mentioned, we like Xander, we like Rahm, we like Day as potential, but you should be making that bet on the other side. So it's like Rose, it's Brooks, it's Bryson, it's Molly. This is the right.
I think so
because you got Dustin and Rory and Day and Tom. Like this left side is killer, man. How do you guess?
And it's a lot of the secondary stuff too. So if upsets do happen, all of a sudden you're not dealing with Abraham Answer coming out of the group. You're coming out against like Beauregard or Phil or Henrik Stenson instead of Charles Howell III or Affy Barnrat too.
So it's hard, man. It's hard.
I know.
So I don't know how to invest on that left side. And I'm looking down at the bracket, but golf, you'll know. You take one look at this thing, you'll know which side we're talking about.
All right, so let's make our picks all the way through. So what's your top left?
So it's Hideki versus Sergio. Give me Sergio.
I'll go DJ and Sergio. I got DJ. I got X and C Woo.
Give me Rahm. Rahm to beat Xander.
So you got Rahm to beat Xander?
Yeah.
I'm going to take C Woo to beat DJ, or to beat Xander.
Okay.
Then I will take C Woo to go to the Final Four.
I'll
get my each way and I'll be happy. He's the king of the each way.
The Battle of Spain, I'll take Sergio into the Final Four.
So you got Sergio into the Final Four. So I got Beauregard and Phil. I'll take Phil over Beauregard.
I've got Wallace versus Day. Give me Jason.
I got Snedeker versus List. I'll take a List against old Sneds.
Okay, this is painful. Cantley versus List. Give me Cantley.
I got Phil versus List. I'm going to take Phil to go to the Final Four. Give me that lefty advantage.
Day versus Cantley. Give me Day.
Top right, I got Rose versus Bubba. I'll take Rose.
Okay, there I've got Woodland versus Horschel. Give me Gary.
Answer versus Molinari. I'll take Answer.
Bold.
Well, I have Rose winning either again, no matter who he goes against. So I'm just going to take him.
So I'll take Molinari, and then I'll just beat you to it. So I'll got Molinari beating Woodland Molinari into the Final Four.
And I'll take Rose beating Answer, and he's into the Final Four. Bryson versus On. I'll take On.
Bryson versus Louis. Give me Bryson.
Mitchell versus Brooks. Some redemption for Brooks Koepka after Mitchell won the Honda Classic. I shall take Brooks Koepka.
Finau versus Brooks.
I feel like me and you both might just bet Brooks.
I'm taking Finau.
All right, I'm going to take Brooks over On, although I did bet On to win. I'd still be okay with him, coming inside the top 4, something like that.
You know what? Maybe I would bet Brooks.
Can we finish this before you go make a bet?
Sure.
Rose versus Brooks for me. I'm going to take Rose going to the finals. And Siwoo versus Phil. I'll take Phil. We got a Phil Rose final, the rebattle of Marion at the U.S. Open. And I will take Justin Rose to win. And I will take Siwoo Kim to come in third. I'm not going to win this.
Dave versus Molly.
Dave versus Molly? Well, I mean, Molly's going to win after Day withdraws. Too much golf for Jason Day. If we're concerned about like Tiger playing too much golf, it's a lot of golf for Jason Day.
Oh man, I'd be tempted to make that Finau, but Finau's got to get out of that group, so that's no easy ask. I didn't pick a winner.
I can't believe I just picked Phil going to the finals. That's so stupid.
I'll take Molly. Wow, how'd that happen?
So we'll do this now. We'll do one and done picks for the week. Who'd you have last week?
Loser Cabrera.
So I won with Stenson because he came like T25 after Tim.
Was Rafa 2 over?
Yeah, Tim picked Reed. So I'll take Justin Rose. If I'm going to pick him to win, I might as well take him. Cust is picking Matt Kuchar as his one and done.
I might as well take Molinari then, right?
If you picked him to win, yes.
Yeah,
You
I guess
definitely
that's
should take
what
him.
we'll do.
Molinari for you. So bets. This is interesting because like I said, I've only placed 2 bets so far. I bet Siwoo at 125 to 1 with the each way. I bet Byung Hun An at 70 to 1 with the each way. I want to go look at these updated odds here though before I commit to anything. Rose at 20. Like, is that the way to play this? What are Phil's odds? Old man Phil? Phil's 75. So I'm going to put Phil on the card. If I have him going, because I can each way him at this point. So I'm going to bet Rose. I'm going to bet Phil, Siwoo, and Ann. Should I pull the trigger on Brooks too? Give me 2 20s and then all guys from above 70?
It's all you, bud.
Check out the cheat sheet on Tuesday afternoon to see if I bet Brooks or not. But I'll bet Rose and Phil.
Sergio, I bet.
Shop around for a better Rose number. There's got to be a better Rose number out there, right?
What are you looking at? I see 20.
Yeah, I'm seeing 22, but not
I don't
22.
know that his
20 as well.
His pod is pretty not too difficult. The only bet I have right now is Sergio, and because I picked Molinari to win, you can be certain I'm going to go bet Molinari. And just check my Twitter. I could see myself betting Jason Day also, and really.
I clicked on the wrong thing, and I ended up on politics bets. So you can bet. What Joe Biden nickname will Donald Trump use next on
Creepy
Twitter?
Joe, right?
It's Crazy Joe is even money. Other is plus 250. Sleepy Joe is plus 350.
Creepy Joe.
Low IQ Joe is 50 to 1 or 5 to 1, and 1% Joe is 10 to 1.
How do I get Creepy Joe? Because Joe likes.
That's other. That's 2.5 to 1.
Joe's like got some touchies sometimes.
Are you sure about that?
Well, no.
Or
Well, there's video evidence.
Of what?
Joe being creepy.
Just neck rub Joe?
Just like Google creepy Joe Biden. You'll see some things that'll shake your head at.
Well, apparently Crazy Joe is even money. I got to get back to golf here. How did I end up on politics? I do like that the gambling market has really embraced Trump.
60 Minutes did a whole thing on gambling last night.
Oh, how'd it go? Was it very fair and balanced?
I didn't watch it.
I didn't even know what happened, so. Let's see, golf. There's one thing, I'm not going to say the site, because I don't want to give them any publicity.
Yeah.
But, listen, I'm not too concerned about betting the Hero Indian Open.
It doesn't need
to be the first one that you list. It's just stupid.
They're in their own element over there.
Rose is 20 over there too. Brooks is 22 over here though.
What's Molly over there?
Molly's 28.
He's 28 everywhere.
Sergio's still 45 there if people want it though. And Phil's 66. Phil's a better number at the other place. It looks like List is 100 to 1 here. And Si Woo is 80. So if I bet List, I'll probably put the auto on List anyway. So he's 100 to 1 there. So that's
I can get you List 125.
I'll take you up. You do owe me $10, so
So my 5-way each way in that for you.
I might give you another 10 to make it a 10 and 10. Because the each way on that would
the
be
each way isn't the top. It's only 4th place each
top
way.
4. You got to make the semifinals. I want to go back and confirm that I was correct about. I don't even know how to go back. I'd have to pull it up.
Correct about what?
The Russell Knox thing. Because I was just looking at birdies gained, but
Well, I want to make a bet with you.
what would you like to bet? Where are we really diametrically opposed here? You really like Rom, and I took Si Woo.
Yeah, but I don't pick on Si Woo. I'm no fool.
You really like. You want to do a Cantlay versus Snedeker bet
Like on their day match?
on their day match? I'll take
Okay.
Snedeker. You take Cantlay.
Fine.
Put that back in.
Yeah, I'm not really. I hope to not really get involved with the dailies. I know you'll be parlaying everything.
No, I probably won't. I'm actually like, whether it's like, I usually play like 20 to 25 lineups on DraftKings. I'm going to play 3 this week. I'm going to fill out my contest. The link is in the description of this video and podcast right now if people want to go enter and fill it up. Only 2,500 entries. But I'll only be playing 3 lineups. Maybe I'll play 5 just to give myself some more exposure to some of the lower end guys. But I don't plan on betting a ton, to tell you the truth. It's a nice little off week. You got Houston, you got Valero next week, which is going to be a super strong field. Then we got the Masters. I need my Masters bankroll. I just rebuilt my bankroll all the way back up. That, I don't want to waste it all betting on something that's just, you pick your guy and go with it in this one, realistically. Like, I think I bet 4 guys last year. It was my most profitable tournament. So I'm thinking about doing the same thing here.
Yep.
So I'm waiting to pull the trigger on Brooks. Although I did bet on Corrales. So you can play some doubles if you want. Do you want to know who the guys I've picked at Corrales are?
You already told us.
I said them all?
Well, can I guess based on what we said earlier?
I picked 4 people.
Neiman, Damon, and Kyung Hoon.
Oh, yeah, Kyung Hoon Lee. So I went Neiman 28 to 1,
Yeah.
Damon 40 to 1, KH Lee 55 to 1, and Grayson Murray 160 to 1. That is the match play sheet. You want to look at it?
I like Neiman at 28. Like, that doesn't seem low. It seems fine.
It does seem like stupid odds.
Really?
Damon's playing well. Why is he 40 to 1?
Okay, you want to bet? You're going to make fun of me. Fratelli, 45.
You love Dylon.
Yeah. Neiman, 28.
I played some doubles last week.
Uline could be interesting,
Oh,
too.
of course he can. Just like every week. He's fucking great. There's an actual like weird mix of guys. Like I mentioned, Paul Dunn is playing, Lipsky's playing, Thomas Detry's playing in this tournament. Why are all these weird
Belgium.
Why are all the Euros playing in this tournament?
I don't love my bracket.
Yeah, neither do I. My bracket's stupid. It's not going to win.
I picked Molly to win. I'm not I feel obligated now, but I'm not in a rush to go click it.
If you want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, smash the like button. Smash the like button anyway. It really does help out. Smash the like button of the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section, not the live chat, the comment section. And tell me which of the 3 or 4 players in the pods that you think has the best chance of coming out of their group this week, or leave a 5-star iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to the audio podcast review, along with your DraftKings handle. Something friendly about the show, and you too will be in a draw for 20 DK bucks. You got anything else?
No, I don't have. Normally we do these match play brackets, and I'm like giddy. Like I'm loving what's on paper. This one just feels like a total mess.
They put all your favorite guys
That
together.
stacked left side really has me rattled, Pat.
More rattled than Justin Rose's face and or voice.
Do the top 8 on the left versus the top 8 on the right, as an all-star game, and it would be an ass whipping.
So it's the President's Cup American team versus the President's Cup World team?
Rose, Watson, Casey, Molly, Bryson, Fleetwood, Finau, Brooks versus Dustin, Reed, Shoffley, Rom, JT, Day, Tiger, Rory. It's pretty lopsided.
It seems pretty lopsided, but watch all these guys storm it and win.
Yeah, oh no, I'm not. That's again, I don't want to overthink it because like we're like, oh, this road, Xander's road would be so hard, and then watch him have to play like Lowry and Reavie or something.
Yeah. I think Rose has the easiest path to the finals. Rose or Bubba. Like if you like Bubba, Bubba's still at 30. I just don't think he goes back to back. Bubba's not one to go back to back at tournaments.
Gary Woodland's amazing. How can you love Rose like that?
I had no intention of coming in here and picking Rose.
Yeah,
It's just once I saw how the bracket broke down.
Do you know we're sort of the same in that I just went with Molly.
Yeah, like that. I feel like that's the one to pick.
We both had our winners come from that quadrant thinking, I don't know, go beat these guys.
I wonder.
And I had you had Answer beating Molly, and I had Rose losing to Woodland.
That's only because I knew once I picked Rose that I was going to pick him going all the way. I might as well have an upset or two, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
But the Match Play head-to-head simulator on Fantasy National is something to check out there. I'm going to start running some numbers on that later to see if Rose actually does well. Because by my statistical model, he does not do so hot. So he's 4th in strokes gained total over the past 24 rounds, though. It's not bad. He has a win already this year. So that's positive news. You got anything else? Or you just want to text?
No, I'm making bets.
Oh, okay.
I'm betting the guy I picked to win, even though I don't love it.
The number's going to be there in 3 minutes from now.
You're probably right.
Turn to what? Nothing. Go ahead. You stop me from the extra. What do you want?
I wanted to make fun of Tim, but it's pointless.
No, go ahead.
This guy is complaining that he can't handle the split screen putts.
Yeah, I know.
What sort of animal is he?
It's very.
What's his cognitive process? A putt goes in or it goes out. You can watch two of them at once and properly cognitively decipher what just happened, bro.
Someone did point out to him that they don't even like seeing one putt at a time. They prefer to read it in the newspaper the next day. But nothing gave away that Tim doesn't bet on golf more than him not wanting to see that in that moment. That the double screen is only there for people who bet on golf.
Yeah, what was it? Kokrak for the lead, Casey for par or something? Or Louis, right?
It was Casey and Louis, and I needed them both to miss to help out Kokrak.
And they did both miss, I think.
They certainly did. Not that it mattered, because Kokrak gagged it.
But the guy, what can't he process?
It's unnatural. He doesn't like when they show the morning round at the Masters, because that's not how it was.
See, he also doesn't have a problem, and not to say we're the right ones.
No, we're the right ones.
Because I understanding like watching golf with like an app in your hand, shot tracking what's going to be on the TV in 40 seconds. Sometimes you see it on Shot Tracker first.
See, and that's the whole point of showing the two at once. I don't want to be spoiled on Shot Tracker because I know I'm 5 minutes.
But my point is,
I'm ahead on my app and watching it on fucking live TV.
No, I'm with you, but his whole thing is like, I'm not. Those things are not even part of my equation. So what do I care? Like nothing could be spoiled for him. He trusts the director in the truck.
He is the same person who said he likes the half-hour break from Golf Channel to CBS so he can take a shower and process his thoughts. So, I don't think we're putting too much weight.
What an elitist.
You know what he really...
What an elitist to think like he needs to process thoughts.
You know what else he really didn't like? Was the fun names on the back of the caddies.
Did he tweet about that? I missed it.
He didn't know. He was going off about it in our text thread. He was very triggered by it. He was also triggered by Doug the Pug all weekend, too. Because for the longest time, Tim has said that real celebrity is like if you're on Entertainment Tonight, then you're a real celebrity. And Doug the Pug was on Entertainment Tonight. He was interviewed. Apparently, Doug the Pug makes $7 million a year. Isn't that crazy? Wish I was an Instagram famous pug. I'd have all the cash. I'd be able to hire all the night nurses. 3 of them, Jeff. I'd get all the sleep. Anyway, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Can't believe I'm betting fucking Justin Rose. Did not expect that walking in here. Great. It's a loser. Anyway, I'm Pat Mayo. You can follow me at the PME on Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagrams, where I am not a pug who makes $7 million a year. I'm just some loser with barely any followers. So get me up there. I can use some Instagram followers. Keep pictures of my baby. Try to keep them off Twitter, keep them on the Instagrams. Become a member at fantasynational.com right now. 100K winner over the weekend. Another 100K winner, viewer of the show. It's fantastic news. So maybe we can get some more this weekend. And remember to play in the Pat Mayo Experience Open. The link is in the description of this video and podcast. Only 2,500 seats this week, so get your spot right now before it fills. And let's fill it early because there's only a day in between now and when the tournament actually starts. If we don't fill it, then we're not going to get like the 10K for the Masters that we want. We need to show that we can fill this, and the demand is there for it. It is the best contest on DraftKings. There is no rake, so please go get into that. Let's pray for Justin Rose to win this week. Or Siwoo Kim. That would be fine too. Or one of the other like 800 people I picked. Anyways, I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for tuning in live with us. I'll see you next time.